which is an 08. I have my medium, which is an 03. I have my fine, I use an 005. Make sure that you keep, because I always look at the caps, make sure that you keep the correct cap on the correct pen. They're also labeled on the sides. I'm also going to recommend that whenever you're not using the marker, make sure it's capped, and not just slightly capped, like capped, so that they can last a long time. I've used these same ones for like 4 years, and they're still juicy. Okay, so make sure that you take care of them. We're going to be using the bold line for any edge that you can wrap your hand around. So I can wrap my hand around these edges, I can wrap my hand around here, and I can even wrap my hand around here. So bold for edges. We're going to use the medium one, so my 03, for anywhere where there's a line that I can't wrap my hand around. Like I can't stick my hand in that seam. Does that make sense? So visually, like you can see this shirt is casting a shadow, and the edges are very defined and easy to see. We're going to use the bold line to help define those edges. Whereas this seam line, you kind of have to look a little bit harder to see, so we're going to use a medium one for that. As far as the super fine one, 005, what do you think we're going to use that for?
Stitches.
Stitches. Anywhere where you see thread showing on the outside of the garment, we're going to draw teeny tiny little teeny tiny stitches. Sometimes we're going to use it for buttons or anything that's a really very small detail. Okay, so the lines that I just sketched in here, which marker am I going to use? Bold for all of them. Okay, so for the first part of this, we're going to use bold. Before you just dive in and ink this, I want you to get to know your marker, get to know your paper. Depending on the brand of marker and the brand of paper you used, the absorption rate's kind of different. I want you to get to know how it looks if you're holding the marker upright versus holding it on the edge versus kind of somewhere in between, kind of gets inconsistent. I also want you to draw a line and do that. You see how quickly and easily it smudges. If I did that on just like regular copy paper, no smudging, because the copy paper is porous and it's going to absorb. So what I want you to do is draw a line and then count to 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Slowly. Okay? Still smudged. Right? Not as badly, but it's still smudged. So then I want you to count to 15 or 20. Find out how long it takes for your ink to dry on your paper. Okay? Your fingers can smudge it, the side of your hands can smudge it, the rulers themselves can smudge it. Okay? So you're going to need to be kind of mindful and careful. Your inclination is probably to start in one place and to continue drawing around. What I'm going to suggest is you start in one place and then move to another place and let that place dry while you're working on this one. Okay? So I usually like to start with straight lines because they're satisfying and kind of easy to do. Practice using your ruler in an area with your pen. So I'm making sure that my trapezoid bevel is going like this. And I'm going to practice drawing a straight line with my pen straight up and down. Okay? When I draw a straight line, those of you who are closer can probably see this. Where is my line in relationship to my ruler?
Next.
Closer. You guys are going to get to be really great friends, so you may as well get close now. Where is that line?
Just to the side of it.
It's to the side. There's actually a little gap. Okay? So get to know with your pen, your ruler, how big that gap is. I don't want to put my ruler directly on a line if I know my line is going to be drawn next to it. Does that make sense? So I'm gonna draw in the shoulder seam because I know that shoulder seam is a straight line. And visually I'm putting a little gap there because I know it's going to make one in the first place. Okay? So I'm going to draw in that line. And I don't want to sit here and count to 20, so I want to move to someplace else. Do you see any other straight lines on here?